So we're not giving out the recordings on this, just being completely honest. But here's what we are doing. I'm going to show you this entire process, and there's a lot in this process. Even if you had the recordings, you really couldn't go through this whole thing. But if you want this process and you want all the prompts and all the things that we do today, that will be available at the end if you want to purchase that, so that you can have it and run through it, and then you'll get the recordings as well. Okay. So we have this new tool. It's called the AI Productivity Suite right now. It's going to have a sexier name at one point. And what it does is it starts with a bit of an intake and it walks you through building this beautiful little profile of you where it's asking you stuff about brand voice and your website, your logo, phrases that you use, and customer information. Walks you through this entire process to get to know you a little bit. And then it builds your ideal customer profile and your bleeding neck analysis so we can know who your customer is. After that, it invites you to actually submit, if you will, content to it. So, hey, I've recorded these videos before. I've written this article before. This is my YouTube channel. You can come and submit all of this content, and it will get to know you and your voice so that it can produce for you a newsletter on a weekly basis in your voice to your ideal customer, reacting to current news. One of the big things we as business owners don't do is we don't communicate with our customers enough and our potential customers enough. And part of it is we just don't have the time. Mm-hmm. We just flat out sometimes don't have the time, right? And so it will come in here and create that for you. The other big thing that's going to be in here is the social content. You'll be able to come every single day and get social content for every platform, right? Here, come walk in and you can come in and you'll have your Facebook content, your Instagram content, everything you need to post. It'll even give you story suggestions of what you can create on your social right here. This is a pretty cool little app, right?
Yeah, it's awesome.
Victoria, I know this would help you.
Yes, I was on mute.
Right? Victoria
That's
and I
a
have
dig, y'all. He's getting on me.
Victoria and I have a long-standing thing because I'm always after her to create more content. Right?
Yeah. Look, I got 2 posts in the last 2 months. I'm on a roll.
2 posts in the last 2 months. So, hold on.
No,
I got
no, no,
somebody
in
in
the
the
last
waiting
month.
room.
Actually, in the last month.
Sophia, I'm sorry. I need to make you the co-host because I'm missing people in the waiting room, and that's my fault because I forgot to make you co-host. There you go. Sal, sorry to keep you waiting in the waiting room for so long. Or is Sal a real person? Sal's not a real person. Okay.
Sal assistant. Okay, Sal is an AI, something or other.
Well, when Sal shows up, he can come, but until then. And so, yeah, we've got this wonderful little app. And in order to sell it, we need what? We need a landing page to drive people to sell this thing. Now, here's my question to any of y'all. What would you do right now? How would you create a landing page for something like this right now? What would you do?
Using Firebase or Lovable or Curo.
But how would you create the content for it?
I guess it's on how good your prompt is, right?
So you'll just go write a prompt and you'll tell the prompt to do what?
Give me a genius level prompt that will create a landing page that does X, Y, and Z. And in my voice, assuming your AI has your content in it.
Do you want all of us to answer or just?
I'm sorry?
Did you want all of us to answer or just one? Or...
Sure.
Oh,
anybody else who wants to answer is welcome to answer.
Well, I don't know if Susanna was finished. I just didn't know how much time you wanted to.
No, I mean, when I'm leading events and there's that long quiet pause, I'm always like, someone jump in. So I just jumped in.
Oh, okay.
So I don't want to take over anything. So please, I jump in.
No, because it was a very good question. You were on a roll, so I didn't know if you were finished.
No, I was just saying, like, at least what I do, is say, give me a genius level prompt. Feel free to ask questions and do X, Y, and Z. Um, and that's how I've been getting ideas, through AI.
Okay.
Um,
Anybody else?
I would build out my ideal customer profile if I didn't have it already, which I do. And you are a great help in that. I would build it out and feed it to AI. I mean, I would go through other steps, but if this is all I had, I would build it out and then ask the AI to help me with the content. Um, and then run the content through Claude and then see what resonates. I mean, short answer.
Okay.
Knowing me, I will bellyache a little bit more, but yeah.
Yes, you probably would. Anyone else? If you needed content for your webpage, what would you do?
Well, and I would do that until it it felt like, yeah, I want to buy my own stuff.
And is that an easy process, or is it a frustrating process, or is there a lot in that process and to get to that place?
um, well, you're talking about me in general. It's easier for me because I'm used to working with some of the AI tools, nowhere near to the level that you are. But if you're not, it can be a frustrating process to get it right, you know, to get it to give you the right output and maybe getting used to using different models and all of that kind of stuff. Um, so, but if I had to do it without AI, oh my gosh,
Okay.
I'd
But
be
now let me
retired.
ask, but here's the real question. Here's the real question though. Have you ever done it and you put out the landing page and it didn't work?
And it worked.
It didn't.
What's the measure of it working? Meaning that,
In other words, people didn't respond to it the way you thought they would. Because I know I've had that happen,
You
right?
yeah,
know,
Because so often we are thinking of our way of thinking,
yeah,
and it's good to us, but then our customer doesn't receive it the same way we do. Or somebody else sees it and they say, hey, you ever consider doing this on your website? And you're like, oh my gosh, how did I forget that? Or, oh my gosh, I missed that. Right.
yeah.
yeah, yeah.
In my
So,
case, and this is going to sound incredibly crazy, I've just focused on everybody else's marketing more than mine. And I pretty much lived off of referrals. So for me personally, it's been more of
right, you're
me.
not doing it for yourself at all, which is even worse.
Well, yeah, which is why I'm really focusing on just me right now. It was just some,
Yes.
yeah, that was just what I did. So I can't really say anything about it. So I wasn't really testing the pages about my pages working because they weren't coming through the pages to begin with for the most part.
Yeah. Well,
So that's going to be a new,
it's a new
but
place for you.
yeah, other
So,
people definitely. It's been, just testing.
so
Yeah.
what we're going to do today is go through a process that is going to make this streamlined for you and put each of us in a place where when we create content for a landing page in the future, we'll know, yes, this is going to work, and we're going to know why it's going to work. So whether you're creating it for someone else or you're creating it for yourself, you'll have that level of confidence behind it. And that's really where I hope for everyone to get through. Now, this process we're going to go through today, when you do it yourself, it's probably going to take you a day, day and a half, and we're going to do it in about 40 minutes. Okay. And so I'm going to go through things quickly. But if this is what you want and what you need, then absolutely, if you buy the system from us, you will get the whole thing and be able to do this soup to nuts for yourself really, really well. Okay. All right. So let's jump in. One of the most fundamental things when we are building any type of communication for the outside world, in other words, anytime we're talking to anybody but ourselves, we must be obsessed with our customer. You've got to be obsessed with who you are talking to. You've got to know them. And I say this all the time. If you've been around me, you've heard me say this. You've got to know them so well that you know what their poop smells like. Like, you gotta know them. And it's a constant thing. And it's a constant growth. I mean, I can tell you in our business right now, we've been working with, for one of our products, the same ideal customer for over 4 years. And we've gotten really good at communicating with them, but we were hitting some roadblocks recently, as we were shifting a little bit of how we were positioning things, and it just wasn't resonating. And we spent time going back and really talking to them and listening, and heard from them an absolute new way to communicate to them in their language. And as soon as we started making that shift, all of a sudden people started saying, yeah, me. I'm interested for a product that we're going to be launching officially in October. Okay, so here we go through the process. We start off with being obsessed with your customer. And as Victoria so eloquently said, it starts off with your ideal customer profile, which when you work with us through this process, we will build, just like we did for Victoria, we will build this out for you. Now, what I'm showing you here is we're walking through the ideal customer profile, and we're walking through the process of building the landing page for that productivity suite that I showed you earlier. Okay. And so one of the things that I wanted to point out to you here is if you look on the screen at the top right, and it shows up every now and again in black, it says 4 of 54. This is a 54-page document defining the ideal customer of who should be using that AI productivity suite. And so very often when you talk to other marketing agencies and they say, oh yeah, we'll build you an avatar, and they give you a little one-page thing, believe me, it's incomplete. There's a depth and a knowledge to understanding truly who your ideal customer is, right? So many times we stop just at demographic information, which is great that we know the demographic information, but more importantly, that's only 1.5 pages. The other 52 pages are all psychographic information. How does this person think? Why do they take certain actions? How do they feel when they take certain actions? How do they want to feel when they take certain actions? What have they done before, and how has it made them feel? Et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And 54 pages of it, right? Even questions that they would be asking. How is this different than just using ChatGPT or another AI tool? Like, that's a question that they're going to ask when looking at our AI tool. Well, don't you think we should have an answer and positioning for that, right? And this goes on. What do they what did they purchase before? Right? And we get really in depth, even in this, how are they using email? What are they thinking? What are they feeling about all these different services that they're using? And even why have they not had success before? So this 54-page document lays all of that out. And this, I'm spending time on this here because without this, everything else fails. Without this, everything else fails. And so this is the most important part here, is making sure you have a very, very detailed ideal customer profile. Okay, that's where we start. Everybody with me? Any questions on the ideal customer profile before we move on about why it's important? Okay, fantastic. And I cannot see the chat. So if you do, I don't know if anybody did, but if you do put something in the chat, just know I can't see. Just come off mute or whatever. Just interrupt and talk to me. It's cool. So the process that we're going to do is we have our ideal customer profile. Then we're going to define our bleeding neck. Then we're going to look at what our signature solution is. Then we're going to build an offer strategy. Okay. Then a core messaging canvas. Then we'll actually we have to do all of that before we even get into building the landing page copy. Okay, we'll do a visual style guide, we'll mock up the landing page, and then we'll actually show you in Lovable how to pull together the landing page. Does that sound good to everybody? If that sounds good, give me thumbs up, say, hey, that's great. Good deal. Okay, so we're going to start off here in ChatGPT, and I'll be honest with you and tell you, I've never actually run this in ChatGPT 5 because, as most of you know, GPT-5 just came out. But we're going to run it in GPT-5 today together. Is that cool? So we're going to start off.
Mute, but yes.
First, we're going to start off with building the bleeding neck, and let me change the name of this here. And we're going to upload the ICP. Now, in point of fact, could I just point it to this Google Drive document? Yes. However, when I was logging into ChatGPT just now, it gave me some funky thing about not wanting to connect well to Google Drive just now. And we're already talking, so I'm just going to download the PDFs and work with it. But you can just connect it directly to the Google Drive. And so we're going to run and create our bleeding neck. Now, why is the bleeding neck important? First off, who does not know what a bleeding neck is? Okay, great. So here's why the bleeding neck is important and what it is. If you got my book and you were thumbing through my book and you got a paper cut while thumbing through my book, first and foremost, sorry. Secondly, what would you do if you got a paper cut thumbing through my book? Yeah, you might make a face, you might lick it, you might suck your finger, you might press it, but you'll keep working, right? It's not going to cause you to stop what you're doing for any length of time. However, let's say you were sitting here and there's a light overhead and that light explodes and a shard of glass comes and stabs you in the neck and there's blood squirting from your neck. What will you do?
Go to the hospital, hopefully.
Exactly. Exactly. As business owners, we want to solve problems that would cause our customer to go to the hospital. Because if we're solving problems that they consider as paper cuts, they're not going to be willing to actually pay for that. That's just a little annoyance that they might just suck their finger and move on. It's not a big deal to them. We want to solve a problem and we want to message to a problem that we're solving that's so urgent that they have to pay attention right now. Okay? That is the key. That's why we look at the bleeding neck. So we take their entire ideal customer profile, and there's a lot of information in 54 pages. But now we want to look and see what is the, as we look at all of this, what is the bleeding neck that this customer actually has? And here it breaks it down for us. I have no time to create content. My posting is consistent, Victoria. Lead nurturing is suffering. I'm anxious. Competitors are engaging while I'm invisible, so growth stalls. Honestly, if y'all went back and listened to what Victoria said earlier, with the exception of maybe the anxious competitor piece, that's exactly what she said.
I was about to say it did a pretty good job. Go 5. It's your birthday, not for
Okay.
real, but for play.
Now, here's where it gets really fun, is we built this product for someone just like Victoria. So when it comes back and understand, I'm like, yes. Remember when I said you're going to have certainty through this process that you're actually speaking in the language of your ideal customer. Then it goes into why it really matters, the translation into marketing, and supporting symptoms and triggers. Can y'all hear that outside?
A little.
I don't hear it, but
So we're in corporate housing in San Diego, and literally there's like a patch of grass this big in front of the corporate housing. And since 9 a.m., and it's 1:34, since 9 a.m., they've been cutting this patch of grass right in front. All right, so we're gonna grab this bleeding neck, and we're gonna come back to our document here where we're keeping track of everything, and we're gonna drop the bleeding neck in here. Okay, so now we have our bleeding neck analysis. All right, then we're going to move on to our signature solution. Now, does anyone know what a signature solution is? Anyone not know what a signature solution is?
I don't know what that means.
Okay, no problem. So it goes by many different names. Some people say signature solution, other people say proprietary process. Some people even say unique selling proposition, which is a little nebulous. But basically, it is, what is the methodology that you use that gets you success for your customers? Okay, let's uncover the methodology that you use, because we want to message to the customer in their language why your methodology is different and better and great for them. Now, for so many of us, we get a little bit stuck in talking about what we do, and we get a little too technical. Anybody ever get too technical when they're talking? A little word vomit? And it's because we know a ton. Or we do this. You're ever communicating with your customer and the customer says, what does that mean? And it's because we're using insider language. We're using terms that we know that are common to us that aren't common to them. And so the signature solution aims at helping you understand, okay, what is it actually that you're doing, and how do we present that from the customer's perspective and language that they actually will understand? Okay. So your solution is an AI-powered content engine that masters communication for business owners on social media and email without requiring their time, creative energy, or a trust hit or miss, or trust hit or miss, trust in, man, I can't read today, y'all, or trust in hit or miss freelancers. It's a self-learning system. The more you use it, the more it sounds like you, the smarter it becomes, and the more consistent your marketing presence grows. Victoria, does that land with you?
Yes. Yes. Did you ask the AI for this? Like, what is my signature solution? Or did you tell
Yes,
it? Yes.
I asked it.
Yeah.
Based on how we built the ideal customer profile and the bleeding neck and the information I gave it to build the ideal customer profile, I asked it to build my signature solution. Right? And then it goes through and it builds and it even comes up with a promise statement for me. How about that? Victoria, never go silent again.
Y'all, he using me today. Yes.
Wow. I mean, I don't even need to read the rest of them. We could just go with never go silent again. Now, here's the deal. And looking at the promise here, it did give what's that, 5 different ones, and actually looking at the rest of them, I don't love the rest of them. And so when you're working through this, you would every time it creates one of these documents for you, you would stop and edit it or chat with it back and forth to get it to what you actually want it to be. For the sake of argument in our time today, I'm just taking it as it is. That's fair?
Yeah.
Okay. And so this is why I told you that when you're doing this yourself, you'd have spent time going through the bleeding neck, going through the signature solution. The always on content engine that speaks in your voice keeps you consistent and makes sure your business is never invisible again. That's not bad, y'all.
Yeah.
That's not bad, y'all.
I
Okay?
feel used.
That's okay. You know I love you. You're well aware of the fact that I love you. You're good with being used by me. In case y'all didn't know, me and Victoria go back, what, years at this point, and have done a lot of stuff together over the years. Okay, so now we have our signature solution, we have our bleeding neck, and we have our ICP. Now we can move on to looking at our offer strategy. Now, as we build our offer strategy, we're going to switch models because what I found is chat's not the best at building offer strategies. And so we're going to switch models and we're going to go to Gemini and we're going to be using Gemini 2.5 Pro. Okay. And this is in aistudio.google.com if you've never used it before. And I should be able to, because it's Google. Yep, I can drop my Google
Let me
Drive.
ask you a question while you're doing
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
So for me and for everyone else here, the signature,
Signature
signature,
solution.
is that if you have one already,
Yes.
or
Then you wouldn't need to build it.
and you wouldn't need to build it? Okay. Okay.
Okay. Right. If you
But
know
it
it
is
clearly,
nice to see in case you miss something. But yeah.
and that's where we use it a lot. And so, especially when we work with medical practices, a lot of doctors already have what they believe is their signature solution. And so,
Yeah.
what we end up doing is doing a comparison, right? So we take yours and then we run ours, and then we say, okay, so based on your ideal customer profile, bleeding neck, and everything that we've talked about so far, here's what AI is suggesting of how to present your signature solution, and here's what you're doing. And now let's see where there's a marriage in between, right? And maybe you look at it and say, no, AI is completely wrong. That's fine. We go with this one, or it's like, oh crap, that's a much better way of saying that and positioning that, and we marry. Is everybody following so far? Everybody with me?
Yeah.
Okay. So did anybody follow Alex Hormozy's $100 million book launch recently?
I didn't follow it. I got all of the marketing about it, but
Yeah. So Alex is great for a lot of different reasons. If you love his launch, you don't love it, that's not the point. The point is his very first book, $100 million offers,
first.
laid out a framework of how to build great offers and how to present great offers, right? And so oftentimes, and again, when you get the system, you'll get this prompt that we've built over time here that actually takes his framework, takes your idea about your offer, melds them together, and then helps you craft, which is what you're seeing here, a whole new offer, right? So it starts off, it even comes up with names for you, the Authority Engine System, the Done For You Content Copilot. Actually, I just like Content Copilot. The Client Magnet, I don't like that. So it comes up with some name ideas for you. Then it actually goes in and breaks down what he calls the value equation. Okay. So what is their dream outcome? And it lays out what their dream outcome is. Again, all from the ideal customer profile, all from reading that 54-page document that we started with, right? What is it that they really, really want? When we look at that and we look at their bleeding neck, what is it that they really want as their outcome? What's their likelihood of achieving it from their perspective? What are the problems that they think exist? And then how do we present a solution to that problem to allay their fears? Okay. Time delay, how long will it take for them to actually achieve success, and how much work, effort, and sacrifice does it need? Okay. Lays all of this out, and then it even gives you a value stack with pricing. So it shows you now, hey, your Authority Engine, real world value is $3,000 a year. Now, here are some bonuses. It even, look at this, y'all.
Even bonuses.
It will even tell you, here are bonuses to your offer that you should add that you don't currently have. Okay. And how much they're worth and why the customer is going to want them. Then it writes your guarantees for you, gives you everything that you need right here. Right. And that's a total value of $64.95. And you can get it for just $119 a month. It's pretty darn good. Right? Again, I am just going to take this as it's written here and take it all.
But did you just asked it to, you just told it to do it based on Alex Hormozy's?
Yeah.
Without
so this
prompting it any more than that?
This prompt just breaks down and says, this is the prompt here, then breaks down, here are the sections I want, and here's the information, which, by the way, is all in the document with the ICP. So I just gave it the document link and said, based on Alex Hormozy's Grand Slam offer, go build it. And that's what it built for me.
Yeah. Gotcha. Pretty
Okay.
cool.
So now, again, here, we're in a place where, do I have to take this exactly? No. And if I were you and we were doing this together, this is where you take time now and you go through this and you massage it and you say, well, I don't like that bonus. I'd rather this bonus, or take this out, and you build what you want. The point here, though, is it is giving you structure of how to structure your offer based on your ideal customer to make it most attractive to them. Make it most attractive to them. Right? And quite honestly, as I'm looking at these, what it did here, so these two are the only two bonuses that we actually don't already have in the system. Yeah, that's cool. I actually kind of like this. We may be using this, Sophia. Okay. And so now you're at a place where you have your offer strategy. Now you may already be selling your product. You may already be selling your product. You may already have an offer, but this gives you again something to compare to and to see, is there a better way to do what I'm currently doing? Can I present myself better to my customer? That's what we're going for here. That makes sense to everybody? Okay. So that's offer strategy. Now we're going to work on the core message. So now that we have the offer strategy done, we're going to stay right here in Gemini. And we're going to be using four different tools today. So we've seen two so far, ChatGPT and Gemini. Okay. And Gemini 2.5 Pro to be exact. Now we're going to have it produce our core message canvas. Now, Victoria and I met some years ago in another program. And this program was for marketers. And one of the things that they used to do in this program was to say, hey, you should create a core message canvas. And it went from your ICP, which wasn't even an ICP, it was a one-page avatar, to a core message canvas. And I watched as seasoned professional marketers struggled to create core message canvases for their clients time and time and time and time again, because the core message canvas has so many different elements that they just didn't have answers for. And they didn't have answers for them, y'all, because they didn't spend the time to do the bleeding neck, to do the signature solution, the offer strategy, and a full ICP. They didn't have the baseline of input that you needed in order to do a core message canvas. Almost any marketing agency that you go to, if you want to create copy for anything, they're going to create a core message canvas. But so many of them don't do these first four steps. Okay. And so here we're going to now create our core message canvas. And let's take a look at this. So the first thing it does is it creates the brand statement. It's a one-liner promise. We make your business visible every single day in your authentic voice without you lifting a finger. Wow. We are the only AI platform that clones your unique expertise and voice to build a hands-free marketing engine that runs on autopilot. That's actually not true. And so this is where now, if it produced this, you would need to edit that.
Yeah, I was about to ask you.
Okay.
I was like, wait a minute, when did you tell it that? I was like,
Right.
did I
And
miss a
so
step?
again, it's AI. Now, in our demo, we're going to take it like this. In real life, we would have spent time and massaged this to make it better, right? It's going to give us a synopsis of our ICP, bleeding neck, their desired outcome, the big idea and the core narrative of what we do and what the user wants, our signature solution framework built in here, the core message pillars, authenticity at scale. So everything that it did before was really just a summary of what we have done. Authenticity at scale, effortless consistency, automated authority. Victoria, do you not want those three things? Authenticity at scale, effortless consistency, automated authority. Right? That's what you're looking for. And you know you're not getting it by not creating your content consistently. Although she did create 2 in 1 month, y'all. Okay.
You gotta start somewhere.
You gotta start somewhere. I agreed.
He's
Right.
gonna
And
get
it goes
bored
up.
this month. Maybe.
Maybe. And then it even ends with your tone of voice and style and breaks down your character diamond, your North Star, your counter star, your non-negotiable, so that we can hone in exactly how we're going to do messaging and the voice and tone that we're going to use.
So
Okay?
it pretty much made up your character diamond and North, all of that for you.
So it does. And so this is one of the things here with this that you can, when you do it with, I didn't hear because it's just us and I'm going through this quickly. You can give it more information. And so like when you do this with us, we take you through an onboarding survey. And then our onboarding survey, we ask some questions that then feeds into this.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
That is a step that I'm glossing over right now, just for sake of time. Fair?
Okay. Gotcha.
Okay. So now we have our core message canvas. Now, the beauty of the core message canvas is everything that we've done so far is a lot. Like handing someone a 54-page document and saying, this is my ideal customer, that's a little bit ridiculous. It is. I'll admit that. However, if you're going to hire any marketing agency or anyone to create content for you, handing them a core message canvas now that's built off of the rest of this is going to get you consistency in what they produce for you. And if they can't produce consistency with the rest of your marketing, you ought to fire them. Because that's the point of the core messaging canvas. Okay? So here in this process, it's not just about the landing page. We're building all sorts of assets that we're going to be able to use for the rest of our business. Okay? Everybody with me so far? All right. So now we move on to actually building the landing page. And the beauty is when you've done all of this work and you have all of this information, you can literally just say, thank you. Can you help me craft the perfect landing page copy using StoryBrand? And so we use StoryBrand and Dan Kennedy's style. The other thing that we are going to do is drop this Google Drive link in here as well. This Google Drive link, which is also something else you'll get when you, actually that's the wrong Google Drive link. Let me get the right one. This is what I actually wanted. Is, in this case with Dan Kennedy is one of the greatest masters of copy to ever live. And his style for most brands works really well. Not for all brands, but a lot of brands work really well. And so what we've done is we've put together a training guide for AI on how to master Dan Kennedy's style. And this is a 64-page document that we then will feed right back into here and say, we want you to use Dan Kennedy's style, but here's specifically what we're talking about. And it's going to think for a little while. Let's get some copy going. The Authority Engine System. Headline: Stop trading your time for invisibility. Okay, I actually don't like that. And so we would, given everything we've done, I don't actually like that one. So this is now where we would start to talk with it. For sake of time today, we're not going to do that. Okay, but this is where we'll go back and forth. Say, yeah, I don't like that headline. There's not enough emotion. It doesn't actually speak to the audience enough there. Finally, a done-for-you AI content engine that clones your voice, posts for you daily, and turns your hidden expertise into a client-getting machine all while you focus on what you actually get paid for.
Now that I can work with. I don't know what the
I can-
headline was doing.
Yeah, the headline went off a little bit, and that happens sometimes, y'all. It's not going to be perfect. Okay, but this is where the human side works here. So we got the sub headline right, and we need to clean up the headlines up. Okay, we can go back and have it fix that. All right. Let's be brutally honest for a moment. Your marketing is probably a mess. Victoria, true or true? Thank you very much. It's true. You're a master at what you do. Yes. A true expert. Yes. But when it comes to creating content, you're stuck in a cycle of guilt, frustration, and panic. Does this sound familiar? You have feast or famine marketing. So she posted twice in 2 days apart. Feast. Then we went into famine and didn't post again. Your post, you post like a maniac for 1 week, then go radio silent for a month.
I'll cross that bridge when I come to it.
Right. You're at 2 days. Right? You lie waiting night feeling, I should have posted today. The guilt is exhausting. You see your competitors everywhere online. They're commenting on news. They're in your prospects' feeds, blah, blah, blah. And it goes on. And it's writing all of this great content. It goes through the section, the guide, why you should trust us. We built this because we were tired of seeing great businesses fail at marketing. Great statement. Get your authority engine running in 3 simple steps. Feed the engine, review and approve, reclaim your time. I'm loving life. Here's everything you get when you become a charter member today. Boom, 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 bonuses, 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 total value. And you get it all for just $119 a month. Risk reversal. Put us to test with our 90-day triple threat guarantee. You're going to save at least 10 hours per month on content creation. Have consistent daily presence on your primary social. Feel more confident and in control of your marketing. Other than the initial headline, the spot check on this was pretty darn good. What y'all think?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very good.
So I'm going to copy this and drop it over here for the moment. Okay.
He's
And I
doing
promise
his
you-
work in here with us.
He is.
This is a co-working session.
No, it's just Atiba's working session.
That's what I'm saying. Like, well, yeah, that's true. Atiba's working session. So look, he's teaching and working at the same time. Look see, smartest guy on the planet right there.
Now watch this. So here's the next tool. This is Claude. We're going to come over to Claude. We're going to drop this in. We're going to add
This is tool number 3.
This is tool number 3. So we're now going to add in we didn't make any changes to the copy. Okay. But we're just going to say, hey, we want to use Dan Kennedy style and story brand framework. I'm giving you my ICP, the bleeding light, the signature solution, and the messaging canvas. Can you help me improve this copy? And we're going to say, go improve this copy, Claude. And Claude's going to think. It's ruminating on this. I've never seen it say ruminating before. Y'all starting to see how this is coming together, though?
So you're just giving it the link?
So I gave it the link to the document that we've been creating, right? And just to make sure it knew exactly what I was talking about, I dropped the actual content in here as well. Now, in point of fact, I'm doing this quickly because we're running short on time, but in point of fact, I should have cleaned it up. Like it's got this, of course, up here. I should have taken that out. I should have cleaned it up a bit before I dropped it in. Okay. but that's what it is. Tracy, you've been quiet. Do you have any questions? Anything on your mind, Tracy or JJ?
No, I'm following along. These are familiar reminders and good tools.
Good to see you, Tracy.
Good to see you too. Trying to figure out where all this.
Judith, I hope your session is going really well. I know you probably can't respond, but I'm hoping you're feeling very relaxed as we're talking through this. And while we wait for this, I'll just give you some nice soothing tones. Soothing tones. All right, that's my soothing voice, y'all. So the thing that I love about Claude is when you ask it something like, "Hey, can you help me make this better?" And this is what I'm giving you. It comes back and it's going to tell you what it's doing and why it's doing it. Right? Like stronger, more specific headlines. Stop. It knew that stop trading time for invisibility. It knew it was a bad headline.
Yeah.
Okay. And so it changed it to stop being the best kept secret in your industry.
What? Yes. I like that.
And so that's the other side why I'm in Gemini and I asked it to produce the content, but I'm not going to be overly picky. Now, if it's flat out wrong and if it said something was a lie, I'll clean that up before I come to Claude. Because the thing with Claude is by far, especially when you give it a framework, like saying Dan Kennedy and StoryBrand, it's fantastic at now honing in and actually cleaning up what you did. Okay, would you like to elaborate any of these improvements? Or now, this is the one thing with Claude. Which is good and bad, is it gave me all of these suggestions of what I should do. And now it wants me to kind of approve all of them. And I just want you to rewrite the darn thing. Right? And so sometimes you got to come back in and tell it, no, man, just rewrite the thing.
Yeah. That's
okay.
I'm just like, can you just fix it?
So here we go. Stop being the best kept secret. If you're reading this, your marketing is probably broken. Oh yeah. You're stuck in what I call content death spiral. Monday, I'll post something today. You don't. Tuesday, I really should post. Nope. Wednesday, panic starts to set in. Thursday, you throw together a random post. Friday, you feel guilty about it. Yeah. Right. And so it took the content and it made it better.
Wasn't random, but it was Thursday.
Right. And so now I'm going to take this as it is. And I'm going to come back over here and I'm going to drop it in. And so now I've got my new landing page content. Okay. Everybody with me so far?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now from here, we need to go back to ChatGPT. And in ChatGPT now, we're going to, hopefully it will let me do this. It doesn't crap out. I'm trying to speed up on time here. Yes. So I'm going to give it back now, this document, because what I really wanted to build upon is the core message canvas, which we did in Gemini, not in chat. So I'm giving it back a document and I'm asking it to create, and I would have cleaned that up a little bit more too, but I'm asking it to create a visual style guide. So now what it's doing is it's saying, here's your ICP. We've gone through and built all this stuff. We built your core message in Canvas. Now what? And now I have copy. And now what I want you to do is consider with this copy for this customer, what's visually, how should we present this? Visually, how is this customer going to love to receive this in terms of style? Okay. So that's what it's working through right now here. And so you see it comes back. And like I said, I could have cleaned it up. I didn't give it a brand name. And normally when I do this, I would have gone and said, oh, we chose a brand name earlier when we did the signature solution, blah, blah, blah. But now it's come back and it's given me color palettes, typography, how the buttons should be done, white spaces. So it's giving me all the layout elements I need.
So,
Okay?
Atiba, real quick, can I ask you a question?
Of course you can.
I know you're short on time, but are you saying we should have it tell us the branding based on the ICP? Because that
I'm always going to say yes, and then compare it to what you already had. Okay. So often we choose brands because they, or brand style because it appeals to us.
Yeah.
Right? And we are not our ideal customer, typically.
Yeah.
And so I'm going to have it do this. And then just like the signature solution earlier, if you already had a brand style guide, we're going to compare. Now, in point of fact, when we run this for clients earlier in the process, we would have given it the brand style guide, have it run this and have it produce the comparison to tell us why it's suggesting this over this. Okay. Now make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. All right, so there's the visual style guide now. And again, we would be going through this and we'll be looking at this in more depth and detail and making sure we agree, we like it, it's all right. We're not doing that right now. We're gonna come back to our friend Claude. And one of the things that I don't know, in all honesty, is this might actually prove it for me here, is, see, Claude didn't used to be this way. Here it is I already put the AI productivity suite in this chat earlier, but now I've updated the document. I've never been able to prove if this new chat will read the new updates to the document. So I always just reattach it just to be safe. And what I'm going to ask it to do now is take everything. And so you have the landing page copy, you have the style, visual style guide. Now, what I want you to do is actually create a mock-up of the page in words. And that's what it's going to go through and build now for us. Okay, so you'll see here, it's coming through. It talks about the header section, how it needs to lay out, 12-column grid, max width, 1200 pixels. The background is going to be white with solid grid, blah, 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 blah. Like it's getting really.
So you said you tell it to build a mock-up in what?
In Claude. So I'm in Claude.
Oh, you
And I'm
already,
telling
I thought you said something. Oh, in Claude. Okay, I thought you were saying that you prompted Claude to build it in something, but okay.
No. And so it's building all of this here. This whole beautiful thing, it's almost done, still going. It's laying out the whole silly website for us. Huh. I even missed this. Look at that. It broke it down. My $119 a month. That's $397 a day. $3.97 a day to be consistent on social media and have a high quality newsletter go out for you every week. I mean, like you really can't beat that. You really can't.
It'd be cool if it could tell you the average ROI for people.
Especially when it starts talking about, you know, how much time would it take you to create this? How much time are you spending on this? Is your time worth $397?
And quite honestly, so I missed when it made that um, suggestion earlier to add the 397. But if I was actually taking my time going through this, we probably would have picked up on it and said, "Ooh, we should add a section comparing how long it would take you to 397, not just a cup of coffee." And we probably would have added that section in as well and have it help us with that. Again, that's if you're doing it at regular human pace, not web class pace. Right now, we're at web class pace, which is super fast, obviously. Okay. So it laid this whole thing out. Now we get to the fun part. Fourth tool. We're almost done, y'all. We're coming into the home stretch.
Yeah, this is fun.
This is lovable. That was my best. This is Audible voice, by the way. And for any of y'all who listen to Audible books.
Yes.
Okay.
This is Audible.
So we have this lovable prompt here. And it is going to tell Lovable that we want to create a landing page. And we've got to paste in that whole landing page structure that we just built with all the content and everything. We got to paste all of that in here. Then we got to come in and make a couple little edits. So bear with me while I make a couple edits in here to this from the visual style guide. We want navy blue. Light gray.
Oh, you got to put in all of that.
Yeah. I mean, you know, when it all comes down to it, it's not that bad, right?
No.
We should put all of them in.
Please copy a clean, more design style minimalist. So you told it to do the minimalist part with itself, or did the prompt tell you to do that?
So this is the prompt. I'm building the prompt. Now,
Okay.
here's the fun part. The piece of this process that we skipped today is we often do a massive prompt that takes almost 30 minutes to run, which we couldn't do on this call, obviously, that goes out and analyzes a bunch of your quote unquote competitors, I hate that word, websites, looking for what actually works for your ideal customer profile in terms of landing page structure, right? Takes forever to go do all of that research, pull it back together to give you structural ideas. I am cheating for us today and saying, you know what? I kind of like this one. It's just a random one. I was talking to somebody earlier today about NordVPN, and I just have this up. I don't necessarily love it. We're just going to use it, okay? And I'm going to tell it, please copy that as a layout. We're going to hit Control C. We're going to come back here, and we're going to paste this ridiculously long prompt all in here and hit enter. And now it's going to spin up a preview. The purpose here is not necessarily that Lovable is going to give you your 100% final solution. It can. It can. How I would use Lovable for most of us and how we've used it and showed our clients in the past is we've done the work of creating the copy. We've even done the work of coming up with some suggestions on style and so on and so forth. However, when we hand this over to a developer to build a website, they usually screw it up. Now, I can say that because I used to be one of those developers who used to screw up people's websites because my vision didn't match their vision because I didn't understand their ideal customer and I didn't pay attention enough and blah, 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 blah. So the way we use Lovable instead, as you'll see in a minute after it's done spinning up here, is it's going to give us a mock-up of the website, a visual mock-up of the website laid out with all of the text. Now, we can play with it if we don't like this and we don't like that and jerry-rig things around, but then we can give that visual mock-up to a developer, and now they're starting from a much better position. And you don't have to be in that place with the developer where you're pulling all of your hair out because they're not understanding your vision. Okay? And that's why we go to the Lovable step. While this spins up, does anybody have anything on their mind? Because I know we went through this very, very fast.
And this is just, it's not necessarily the topic of the course. So I don't know if I should ask it. But when it comes, well, I guess I can answer my own question. But I'm going to ask it just for everybody here. You would use that same thing and ask it to produce like lead magnet ideas as well.
Say that same thing. What is the thing that you're referring to?
You would use the same, getting back to, of course, the offer, everything up until the offer, and ask it to produce lead magnet ideas.
Yes. And so if I was doing lead magnets, then I would go back to, yes, the offer, start looking at the bonuses and the bonus structure, right? And that's where I would start to branch if I was looking at lead magnets. Yep.
Okay. I got one more. When it's doing this, I don't know if you know the answer to this, and it's okay if you don't. Is it choosing like the baseline? Well, I guess it's based on the ICP. And because with the Grand Slam offers, he does this whole thing where it's like you go through the highest and then you kind of come down from there, like the whole process. So you can go just the brainstorming process, which is kind of lengthy if you do it without using AI. But is it doing pretty much a middle of the ground offer, or is it just based? Never mind. I think I know what I'm asking.
Okay.
Yeah, because it'll be different for a very high ticket offer versus something that's more, and high ticket is dependent on your market. But
so we build these for majority of our clients that we build these for are doing $20,000 to $25,000 offers. So we're not middle. We go all the way to the top. Because if you're going to do all of this,
that's a high ticket offer.
Right. So we're doing this. We're walking this through here for $119 thing because that's what we have right now. So today I had to choose between two things that we needed to build a landing page for, and I chose this one because it had the ability for us to show you the demo of it earlier, right? Whereas we have another one that we're building for the medical marketing roadmap, which is a $20,000 offer that we're going to do the same process with.
That's what I was asking. Like, do you need to tell them what level that you're looking for a high ticket offer or not, or they just or the AI kind of just figures it out?
Well, it's going to kind of figure it out based on the bleeding neck and the ICP and how you set up the ICP.
That's what I thought.
right? So the inbound questions on the ICP explains whether we can figure out whether it's a high ticket, mid ticket, low ticket offer, which
Mhm.
then translates into the pain points that the customer has.
Yeah, that was what I was asking, to make sure if they were going to, the AI was going to determine based on the ICP and stuff.
Yeah. So it laid it out. I don't really love the layout this much. I don't think it grabbed, and it does that sometimes. I don't, well, I guess it did. It did kind of grab this a bit. Yeah. I guess I didn't like this as much
It's
as I
very
thought I did.
similar to that, like,
Yeah.
if you crap
Yeah, I
in,
guess
crap
so.
out. So
And so if I had chosen a different, um, what's another SaaS tool?
high level.
Yeah, but their landing page sucks.
Yeah.
Um,
Um,
Susanna, what's your favorite SaaS tool?
Streak CRM.
Which one?
It's called Streak for Gmail. I don't know.
Greek?
Streak, like a streak on a page.
Streak? CRM?
Right.
Huh. I'm not familiar with it. All right. It may struggle with this one because we didn't give it any screenshots. Um,
or you like HubSpot too? Or you don't like HubSpot either?
I've not been to theirs in a long time.
Do Zoho.one.
Would you say, Susanna?
Zoho.one.
Well, let's do this one.
If you're putting something in the chat, I don't know what you're putting in.
No, I haven't put anything. No, I
Okay.
don't. No.
And so what I'm going to show you here is, okay, so we laid it out and maybe we didn't love the way it looked and we can just do it again. And that's kind of the beauty. Yeah, HubSpot would have worked. We don't like Streak, we'll do HubSpot. But that's kind of the beauty. We can now, here's the content and we can lay it out until we get to what we want, and then we can tweak small things along the way. Like, I don't really like that guy. I want a different guy. I want a different person. Okay, great.
Okay, annoys me.
Say
But I'm
again?
not. I said maybe I'm not your target market, but that the picture and the expression annoy me.
Yeah, he just looks too AI to me
Yeah.
because he is.
Yeah.
My challenge with all of that is if your ideal customer doesn't look like that, getting around that, like say if you're at ICP, which you didn't tell them. Well, I guess never mind. I'm thinking out loud. That's how I process.
Well, I guess the question is your ICP going to look a certain way? To me, the question would be, does your ICP look is how someone looks actually? It could be depending on the service or the product. I don't know.
It could, but as far as isolating,
right.
As far as isolating, more than determining, is this isolating because this person doesn't? That's why some go with more generic or non-images with people.
Yeah. There's an real quick, there's an interesting thing I listened to today about AI called alignment bias or the alignment problem in AI. And I think
Absolutely.
that comes in here.
Yeah.
Because it's based on what you don't know what you don't know, and you can't have AI account for that.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So while this is thinking, the question that I have for anyone, for all of you, is there something that you need help with for your website?
Definitely.
Was that a definitely? Okay, that's what it sounded like you said, but for some
Yeah.
reason my earbuds are like crackling right now. Don't know why. Um, so this is something that we would love to help you with, and all of you with, and walk you through slower than today, this process so that you can actually learn how to create great landing page copy for yourselves. And even see that sometimes when it produces like the headline, it sucked. But when we took that next step, the next step was able to clean up the previous step. Right. Um, I I can't tell. Did we lose Sophia?
I think a while back, but I see 6 people, including yourself.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, she's having internet problems, unfortunately, today. All right, this sucker's still thinking. It may take a little while. And so this is one of the things sometimes with Lovable too. May take a little while for it to regenerate. But hey, that's still a hell of a lot faster than sending it out to an actual developer. Before we go, if I could, let me ask you this question for those of you who are here with us. What's one thing that you took away from today that you're walking away saying, I needed to know that?
I mean, there are a lot of terms and infrastructure behind marketing that I didn't consider. And while I'm always client or customer first in my approach, there are just a lot of marketing considerations I wouldn't have had without coming to this. And it also gave me motivation. I'm really bad at taking care of myself. I take care of my clients and communities and my family much better than myself, but it gave me a motivation to be like, no, you gotta work on your stuff.
Yeah, you do. Anyone else?
For me, are you still talking?
No, Susanna was done. So anybody, if you're next, that's fine.
Based on where I am, it's the process and the steps. Yeah, the process really for me, and seeing it in action.
Okay, thank
And how much time I could save without belly aching.
you.
So
No comment.
yeah, so that's that.
Tracy?
I'd say that when I started learning AI stuff and I would go to a presentation, I would feel like I was drinking from a fire hose and like I would never catch up. And I feel like you just validated that I'm doing a good job. and actually I violated all my circadian rhythms protocols and I stayed up till 2 a.m. like figuring like having all these breakthroughs, and Claude is my home Claude. I don't know if he's a boy or a girl, but anyway, I stayed up so late working through solving a problem with my client avatar that I was like, oh my God, I'm just marketing to the wrong fucking people, and no wonder, and I can raise my prices now. And it was so helpful. And so watching you walk through this validated a lot of my thought process that I've been playing with, and just clarified some things. And I was curious why you used was it Gemini when you did, as opposed to one of the other models. That was one I wasn't quite sure why you made that choice for that particular task.
Yeah, it's a great question. So one, we've tried all of this in all of the models, and every model is better at certain things than
Right.
others.
Like
Right?
Claude's such a good writer and lawyer.
Yes, Claude's a fantastic writer.
And lawyer.
Gemini, I've never used it for law advice, so but I'll take your word.
Yeah. Okay, no, but real quick, I had to deal with a situation with a housemate who had a psychotic break and became aggressive, and I had to get him out of my house. And I used Claude to figure some stuff out. I sent it to a friend of mine who is a lawyer, and she had no edits. I'm not saying don't run it by a lawyer, but I ran it by a lawyer, and there were like no edits.
Yeah, well, there you go. So the thing with Gemini is, out of all of the models, Gemini is the best at strategy.
Okay, strategy. Okay.
And so when we get into talking about Hormozi's Grand Slam offer and offer strategy, we're talking about building a strategy, right? And so we come over here because we're building strategy and
That
let
makes
it
sense.
do its work on strategy. And so that's why we come over to Gemini. Then since we're already here and we've built the strategy, it does a really good job of then coalescing in the core messaging canvas and pulling that whole thing together since we're there. And because we know we're going to go to Claude to clean up the content, we generate the landing page copy here because we know we're going to go to Claude.
Right. And then,
We
so why
use
didn't you start in chat? I mean, why did you start in chat? I'm still trying to figure out why I like chat other than just literally chatting with it verbally.
So chat is great at ideation. Okay.
So
And
ideation,
so
strategy, copywriting, and then visual graphic rendering with
I
the
wouldn't,
with Lovable.
I
With Lovable, I meant I was going through the
yes,
different. So chat,
yes,
ideation,
yes,
Gemini, strategy, Claude, writing, and then Lovable for generating visual simulations of what you're trying to create to head over to a developer or hand over to a developer.
correct, correct. Okay.
Cool.
And so that, and here's what it finally produced. I still don't love this much, but maybe we'll try the HubSpot one at another time. It's a little too corporate for me.
Yeah, I
What we're
think
going
that was
for.
like with the guy and everything. It's like it doesn't match because
Yeah. But that's the type of thing you can
it's
clean up
off.
now. You
Yeah,
can clean that up now. But, and again, this is about getting an approximation,
yeah.
right? And we can now come back and say, this is too corporate. Let's make it a little more fun. And it will go back and it will fix it, right?
Yeah.
But Tracy, thank you for sharing that. And you're welcome on the validation. Glad to be able to be that for you. We all need validation.
Yes. Yes.
JJ or Judith, are y'all with us?
I'm here now, but I did miss
Uh,
the whole thing. I'm sorry.
it's okay. We forgive you. How do you, if you feel good, we forgive you. If you don't feel good
I,
after your acupuncture, then we don't forgive you.
I feel amazing.
Then we forgive you.
Awesome. Thank you.
Well, even though you missed the whole thing, are you in a place where you need help with your landing page copy?
Yeah, so I would say so. Like I'm still trying to figure out this client uh avatar person, like because I don't know why I feel like it's so difficult for me to figure this person out. Like but they say if you trying to serve everybody, you're not serving anyone. But I really want to get to those pain points and figure it out. Like, what would be that's kind of where I'm at. So I think I'm like really in the beginning stages.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do me a favor, everyone. Raise your hand if you've ever had problems figuring out your avatar and your ideal customer profile. And you just heard Tracy say that she stayed up till 2 in the morning. She's having problems. So you're with friends. Okay. You're
Yes.
not alone.
Yes. Well, I feel
It's
like it's such a unique, probably not unique niche, but what I do is not just, clinical hypnotherapy. I also do I'm also a medicine woman, and I do these healing modalities that are, you know, not going to appeal to everyone.
Yeah.
I'm definitely not for everyone, but it's tricky. I feel like it's tricky. I don't know if I'm making it more complicated than it is, or I don't know. I really lost my avatar.
Well, let me ask you a question. Do you want help with that?
Yeah, I feel like I could use it.
Okay. So for you guys who want help, I'm dropping in the chat right now um, my Zoom link. Go ahead and book a time to chat with me, and let's get you the help that you need. It's as Victoria, somebody who we've built an ICP for before, can tell you, who for a long time had challenges with her ICP. We're pretty darn good at it.
Yeah. Yeah. And I like that because, like you said, like the document that you get back versus every other, like I don't know any other avatar, whatever ICP that go. And I've done ICP GPTs, right? Not me personally, but they're still not as, they're missing something because they're based on that particular company's framework in and of itself, which is better than the one pagers, but it's not as good as yours. It's not as detailed. So, and that's most of the work. You might as well put it in up front.
I mean, I did miss the whole thing, but recently I've been introduced to these smart websites. Is this like similar, like this landing page? Is it like also like smart website with SEO and that sort of thing, or?
So no, what we're giving here is what is the content that you put on that smart website. You see,
Oh, okay.
right,
Yeah.
because you can get a smart website, but it will still do nothing for you if, oh, hey, little one, welcome.
Yeah, I did
Yeah, it
have
will still
junior
do
audience.
nothing. It still do nothing for you if you don't have great content on it.
Right, and that's where, like, I recently, you know, through my school, the hypnotherapy academy, there was this person that we're trying to market to the students for this smart website, but it's all like cookie cutter for a regular clinical hypnotherapist, which I don't feel like you know, I fall in that category. You know, so I cannot like um, invest in something that's cookie cutter for everybody when I don't feel like I'm standing out.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. And this process will solve that problem for you. Okay.
Thank you.
Guarantee it. So if you haven't, are you driving?
Yeah.
Okay. Then you probably can't click the link right now in the chat. At least
No.
don't do it while you're driving.
And after acupuncture is probably not a good thing. Yeah.
Say again?
And after acupuncture is probably not a good thing.
Yes. Okay, I know we've got your information, so we'll make sure to reach out to you, make sure you get that link so you can book with us. And let's have that conversation for sure. Victoria, did you have a question?
Yeah, I had 3 questions. One,
Of
are you
course you do.
using, of course, look, I'm here serving. um, uh, are you using the paid version of Lovable?
Yes.
I mean, do you need the paid version to do this? That was question number 1. Not you. You don't
You
need the
don't.
paid version. 2, the URL thing. Because you said landing page URL after the mock-up?
Oh, the URL, that's just where you put the Lovable URL so that you can remember what it is, because the Lovable URL is ugly.
Oh, okay, you just add it
Eh,
there. Now, you don't recommend hosting it on Lovable, or, like, what is your, like, is first is just leaving it there,
So it
or
depends. Yeah, that
moving
depends.
it to your domain? Um,
So on Lovable, you can have a custom domain and you can point your domain to it. So if you don't have a developer, if you don't currently have a website, if you don't currently have a way to work with a smart website that can build anything, or if you have nothing and no help, do it in Lovable. Get the paid version of Lovable, because you're going to need that. It's, I think, $20 a month. Get the paid version of Lovable. Spend the time to make it look the way you want it to look. Bring in your custom URL and host it there. If you have a developer, you have your own current website, you got people that you can work with on this, then use Lovable as the mock-up that they can use in order to actually create your website wherever it's going to live.
okay. Gotcha.
Okay.
Was that 3 or 2?
I'm not sure.
Okay.
Anything else, ladies? And JJ?
So for $20,
Well,
it lets you host multiple websites on there?
I don't know about multiple. I don't know what the number is, because we don't do any hosting through that. So I honestly don't know that side of it. Well, y'all, thank y'all for being here. I know we actually went over. Apologize for that, but I hope that you got a lot of value out of this. Some validation. Judith, you and I will spend some time together. We may have your phone number, Judith, and if we do, I'll send you a text message. Else, we'll send you an email. Okay. Shortly, Victoria, as always, good to see you. Tracy, keep rocking on. And JJ, it was fun. Until next time, next month, we're going to be back and doing AI employees next month. And lots of stuff. Like, I almost wanted to do that this month because so much has changed again.
You
So
say
much
that
new
every
stuff.
month.
I know. Oh, do y'all have 35 seconds? Anybody have 35 seconds?
Go ahead. I'm good. It's a
Let me
holiday
see.
weekend. Husband decided to go to Atlanta.
Oh, is it a holiday weekend?
See, holiday is Monday. It's Labor Day weekend. Yes.
Oh, it's
Which is
shows you how
why
much
I was like, oh, you put this on the holiday weekend.
shows you how
Clearly
much
that was
attention I paid.
you were. I was like, that might be where everybody is.
Yeah, I did not pay attention to that.
I was gonna do something. I was like, ain't nobody. If I wasn't where I am right now, I'd be. And this is my holiday because now my husband left for the weekend, and I got this time, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to use this time wisely to
I'm
really.
not touching that. But here, let me show you guys this really, really quickly. So this is one of the new tools that we built here. That's super, super freaking cool. So we talked about the suite earlier, right? One of the future byproducts of the suite that we'll be offering to people. So this is the Delegation Trap Pocket Coach. And you can come here and ask a question and it will respond with a video.
That's so
Here's the
cool.
deal. Here's the deal, y'all. And actually, let me stop the share and share it again. Here's the deal. The video that it responds with, I never recorded.
Yeah.
It generates an answer for you in video. Oh, where is there?
This topic. But as someone who's seen countless leaders stumble over this, I'm going to share what I know needs to be said. Most leaders think delegation is just handing off tasks, but that's where they fall into the first massive trap. True delegation.
Yeah. Now, it's not designed to be a chat bot to go back and forth and have a chat. What it's designed for is after in that suite, you build your knowledge base and it knows you. And now you want to create a video content of you, but you don't have time to do it. But you know what you want to talk about. You can just come here and say, hey, I want a video about this topic. And it will go create a video of you talking about that topic that you can then take and post on social media. So much has changed and gotten better in the world of AI employees. So just wait till next month. We're going to have lots of fun.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, everyone. It was a pleasure as always. And I'll see y'all real soon.
All right. Thank you. So much fun.
Thank you. Bye.
More fun watching
Bye,
you
y'all.
work.
Thanks, Atiba. Bye.
Bye.